Hey everybody, how's it going? This is another hobby update, and these are some Space Marine models. Now, you may be thinking, hey, that looks familiar, the color scheme, and that's because I did the basically exact same thing on these Space Marines that I did on those clan mechs for the Smoke Jaguar um, Alpha Galaxy color scheme. And that's because I wanted to try something out. I wanted to do a Space Marine chapter up my own way um, and do it a little bit differently. So I decided to take a chance, do a test model, which is the guy on the right here. And so I did this test model, and what we have is gray with darker gray spots outlined in black, but not fully, because Jaguar spots aren't fully outlined for the most part when you look at them up close. Well, in picture form, because if you get up close to a Jaguar, probably bad things will happen. But I did that, and I kept with the red. Originally, I was going to go with the blue, but the blue kind of was too cool of a color, if that makes any sense, for going with the gray. It kind of, I don't want to say it was muted, but it didn't make the model pop. It looked kind of, not almost bland in a sense. So I went with red. I went with the red of the Alpha Galaxy to make the model pop a bit. I think the red really helps with that. So that's what I did. And on both models, all these details you see that are, black lined, like there in the armor paneling and whatnot, is done with a micro pen. A nice, tiny micro pen, in their smallest size available, is going to be really helpful for doing lines like that on white models, on gray models, on basically any color in which you want to have a black line. It's going to work really well for you. Highly recommend it. It's also honestly a quicker way, or an easier way I should say, and it kind of feels quicker because instead of hitting it with a wash and then carefully painting back over and leaving, missing the recesses and whatnot, you can hit the paint as hard and fast as you want, and then once it's all dried out, make sure it's really dry, you come back with the pen and just etch in the detail with the black pen. It goes pretty quick. Anyways, these guys are based on a more jungly, foresty type of base, as best I can do anyway. And that's because I normally do urban rubble, but I didn't want these guys to feel like they were in camouflage. So I wanted their armor color to stand out and be seen as not camouflage, but their actual chapter scheme. So that's why I went with the jungly base. So these guys, I'm calling them the Jaguars. And their color scheme and a good deal of their fluff is based off of the Clan Smoke Jaguars from Battletech universe. But I basically took some things I like from their fluff. I basically took a bit of that fluff and I added to it things like them having a real specialization for genetics, for example, which is kind of also clan based in Battletech. And I added some more 40k feels to it and basically sandwiched the two fluff feels together to make a chapter fluff up. Because I'm a big fan, if you're going to do a DIY any type of force in any miniature game, you should make up some story for it. I think it just comes across better. I think it helps keep you motivated in it, keeps you kind of excited for it, and it's just fun to do. It also can help if you're not 100% sure on how you're going to build that list, let's say. It can help you tailor the build a little bit and figure things out like that. So I do have fluff for these guys, and I'm not going to break it down here and now, but I will be doing a ramble in the future for sure, in which I'll basically be using my DIY chapter, the Jaguars, as a case study for it. So I will be doing that. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the way I kind of merged the fluff together. I'm not the first to do this or anything like that at all, but I'm happy with the way that turned out, and I really do enjoy the color scheme. I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to seem almost secretive, almost kind of mysterious. There's no squad markings on them. There's no chapter marking on it. It's just these spots. However, these spots, if I ever have scout models, which I'm not that big of a fan of, but if I ever did field scouts for this force, they would not have spots. Scouts are basically going to be spotless. They need to earn their spots, quote unquote, as it were. And the more veteran the Space Marine, the more spots across the armor is going to have. So regular Battle Brothers are limited to their shoulder pads, but a veteran sergeant maybe will have a spotted helmet or a spotted backpack or a spotted arm or something like that. And the more veteran the unit it is, like Stern Guard, Honor Guard, HQ, the more spots the model will have across its armor. So I want to do that as a way to distinguish things, kind of make, not so much break up the monotony of painting an army, but to have it have a different look to it, because you'll see the difference by seeing these guys next to a sergeant. You definitely be able to see the difference on the table. So that's the idea. It won't be for everybody. Some people will hate the look that I'm going for, but I'll like it, and that's really what matters, is how you like the force you're collecting. Also, their eye lenses are blue, but it's hard to see because it's a darker blue than I anticipated, but it works. And this model, I kind of messed up on his backpack when I was clipping it off, so I hit it with like a dry brush of metallic, and I did washes and some weathering powder over it, and had it carry over to different parts of the model. It kind of looked like he was more battle weary than that Ultramarine. It kind of looked like battle damage, just to kind of hide it a bit in plain sight, so it almost semi looks intentional. And I think it worked well enough. So let there be a lesson: if you kind of mess up a model bit like I did, you can still use it. Just make it represent battle damage and you'll be fine, especially in 40k. So with that being said, that's pretty much it. I'll be doing a fluff ramble on these guys, using them as a case study, I should say, in the future. And I'll go over the fluff, plus talk about stuff in regards to creating a story for your own DIY force. Because I think it might help somebody. Because it's not my own pure unique story. It's kind of a mashup of Battletech stuff, 40k stuff, plus my own little spin to it. And that can be helpful to hear somebody ramble about that. But anyways, that's it for this hobby update. It's going to be my last for a bit. I'm nearly done with school. Hopefully I'm going to get a job lined up soon, which means I'm 95% sure I'm going to have to move again. So I'm preemptively getting ready for that. And to do that, I got to pack up my hobby stuff. So that way, the more stuff I get packed up, the easier it'll be just to get that moving truck and go. So unfortunately, no more painting for me for a little bit, but I'll still be doing my rambles and stuff for the channel, so keep an eye out for that. Anyways, that's basically it. So until next time, take it easy.